standard and has come a cropper remarkably at times when he's had high averages and fallen against players playing out of their skin. But he is in the final this evening and will take on the in-form Portuguese ace Jose De Sousa for £10,000 and for a title at the Winter Series. Paul Nicholson joins me, Chris Murphy, to talk you through it.
This has got the makings of a great final, and we don't do bad finals this week. Nobody's been trounced. Everything's been close.
Bullseye. Peter's won the bull.
Peter gets the start. And I remember at the start of the Summer Series, that being really important. He should have beaten Michael van Gerwen at the start of that Summer Series. He did pick up the Summer Series Order of Merit. But if
180.
Peter Wright is to win the Winter Series Order of Merit, he needs to win this game, tomorrow's tournament, and he needs Michael Smith to lose first round.
Well, look at this for a start.
140.
And it is apt because this pair are the two biggest 180 hitters on the Players' Championship circuit. Peter Wright by some distance the biggest, it has to be said, but Jose De Sousa now in second place in that particular stat for the year, having hit over 200. Peter Wright now way over 300 maximums this season on the floor.
Ridiculous.
121.
That's what we've come to expect from the champion of the world. And of course, we love number crunching this time of year, Murph. And the thing that piques my interest is not the Winter Series Order of Merit, which I've talked about already.
140.
It's the fact that without money added and the money defended taken off, Peter Wright is the provisional world number one come January 2021.
140.
As always, the World Championship will have the ultimate say in that particular race. Will 21 be the year of the snake bite? Will 121 be the finish of snake bite?
I'd like to think this is going to be conventional, but this is Jose De Sousa. Oh, conventional it could be. He's just going to double check before he goes for treble 19. Tops?
Game shot.
Oh, lovely. That is an 11-darter to start this final. And the display from De Sousa in the early echelons of that game with Adrian Lewis in the semis, they were just sublime. We were just having a chat with Adrian Lewis after that semi, and
140.
he was frustrated not to come out with a victory after playing so well. But isn't it great to see Jackpot looking so energised, so composed, and so sharp at the same time? I think there are big things afoot for him.
Yeah, it really is. Beaten Michael van Gerwen today, produced a fair few ton-plus averages, including in that semi-final defeat at the hands of Jose, who's broken in the first leg and has then landed his 18th 180 of the afternoon.
Could have got another 9 in there. He only took up 1/4 of the bed. Oh, look at this, though. He's trying to make it even tighter.
140.
Can't quite do it. And De Sousa's got 6 from here. Just looks so good at the start of matches. He comes out of the trap so quickly.
140.
It has been an incredible week for De Sousa at the Winter Series. Can he cap it with a title, having lost in the final against Michael Smith a couple of days ago?
Well, surely the bull at 25 is the shot here. Take the bull out of commission, but no, it's Peter Wright. He gets the right-hand side of that 60. Mega aggressive to leave 81 after 9, but it's out of his hands as De Sousa looks at tops.
31.
And the chance is there.
It's a chance for a second successive 11-dart break of throw. Peter Wright needs to find the treble. He does. Double 12. A dozen will do. And Peter Wright does level up at 1 apiece.
What a terrible start to this final here, Murph. Absolutely under par. But in the right sense. golfing terms under par. This is strikingly brilliant.
Yeah, but it's not much more than we would expect based on what we've seen so far, particularly from Jose. Semi-final in the first event, a final in the second, and he's back in the decider on day 4. The only blot on the copybook, that first round exit at the hands of Ted Everts yesterday. He'd also reached the last 4 in the last Autumn Series event. His form, particularly on the floor, has been
85.
sensational.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of his darts at the 3-5 event clusters that we've had during this very troublesome year. But I had a little chat with De Sousa yesterday at breakfast, and I haven't spent a great deal of time with him, but I warmed to him very quickly. He talked to me about how these darts that he's using now, which were made for him
100.
very recently, he just has so much comfort with them. He feels like he can do anything with them. And he looks at darts now as his job. He doesn't fit kitchens anymore. He
100.
puts in the right amount of practice. He's got an immense work ethic. But if he does want a little break from darts, he can do a little bit of work when he goes back to the Madrid area. But he has moved to a new house in the last couple of months. So he's seeing the fruits of his labour
180.
in property when he goes back home. Fruits of the labour that right there for Wright, who sets up a possible 13 darter for the lead.
Well, he's not going to be spending much time in the new house the way he's playing. I'm going to see him in all the big events. Peter Wright, always in all the big events. I'm just having to step across.
No score.
It looked pretty close from what we could see of it, Paul.
Yeah, very close. Very similar to that visit in that penultimate leg in that Premier League final. Remember that?
9.
That was the heartbreaking night for Snakey, but has to hit it this time.
Moving to double 4.
Game shot.
Expertly done. The marker. And then just use the line. You can see the flights just intertwining there.
Well, yesterday, Gerwin Price took the title and then decided
180.
to go home. De Sousa has done no such thing. He started perfectly in leg number 4, but as it stands, via the money he's won today, Peter Wright is now the provisional #1 seed for the Players' Championship Finals. He's taken over from Gerwin Price. Now, the moment that news filters down to the Welshman, he will be automatically focused on tomorrow, providing he can play. Because if Snakebite wins this final, there will be a gap of £6,250 between himself and Price
60.
for the #1 seed at the end of the month. That's a big gap.
Well, you talked about that potential of Peter Wright becoming the world #1 at the turn of the year. And it's certainly something that he's focused on. A big factor in his decision not to play in the World Cup of Darts was to prioritise these ranked events.
He's already won the World Cup. Check that. Won the Euros. Done that. What he's trying to do, he's probably got a wall chart in that man cave of his. And there'll be things on there that he hasn't done yet, and he wants to check them all off.
138.
He hasn't won the Players' Championship Finals. He hasn't won the Grand Slam.
Yeah, was beaten in the final last year, of course, by Gerwin Price. Beat his replacement at the World Cup in his opening match today, Robert Thornton, 6-1.
134.
As De Sousa looks to level up here. 68. Double 4. Down for double 2.
64.
Well, can Peter Wright complete the 147? Couple of options, but he's looking north first. Doesn't get the red. And De Sousa is looking for the same colour,
1.
but in different territory. For 2-2, He needs Desmond.
Well, now he's looking at double one.
Game shot.
And he nails it to level up at 2-2. Looking for title number 2 in 2020. Has played in a couple of finals. Winning one and losing one, both against Michael van Gerwen. He won't be scared of Peter Wright in this final, by the way. The tournaments that he has won, 3 of them, against Gerwin Price, Glenn Durrant and MVG.
Yeah, not bad, eh? I was saying that the other day when he was in the final. And the other one obviously was Michael Smith, potentially. You think, yeah, he doesn't win finals against people who are just having one of those days.
60.
He's talking about some of the elite players of our time. I like to look back on my victories and remember who I beat in finals, and it makes me feel a lot better.
Well, he has a 3-2 winning record in finals, having lost to James Wade and Michael van Gerwen. He also has a 3-2 winning record against Peter Wright.
It's pretty impressive, that, considering he's only been playing PDC darts when Wright has been a winner.
83.
And it's a second meeting this week, having met 3 days ago in the quarterfinals. De Sousa averaging 107.6 in a 6-3 win against Snakebite. He lands another maximum, taking his tally for the day to 20.
I can hear the tuts around the world from the PDC TV fans. 20 in a day.
Well, it was a tough draw for Peter Wright as well when they met at the World Match Play. Went very, very close, 10-8 in the end, and that is as close as you can get in that tournament, having to win by 2 clear legs. Everybody knows what he's capable of. We're seeing it on the floor, but we started to see it on the stage as well. Won a title on the Euro Tour, of course, with the Grand Slam, Players' Championship Finals and World Championship coming up. Jose De Sousa is a player to watch.
I think that's worth talking about in the next leg. His form on the stage. Is he more of a threat now than ever because of the win on the European Tour? 2 treble 19s. And just goes next door. So 1-2-5. Looks to trim it to tops. And fails to get there. De Sousa for the lead.
Look how quickly he walked up there. Eager to get this break of throw. And put himself ahead.
Game shot.
And he's done it. On double 16, 3-2 to the special one, and he's the one producing the special darts right now. And Paul, I might as well let you answer your own question. Is he more of a threat? How big a threat is he?
Well, he's a better player now than he was 12 months ago, and that's saying something because remember how good he was against Durrant in Dublin when he won that second title. But there are question marks, or there were question marks. What has Peter done here? Has he gone to a different set? Well, if he has, they're very similar.
I think the points look different, Paul.
121.
Not certain what he's changed. He's certainly changed something.
Knowing him, it's probably the same sort of set. He just wants to play with something different. But going back to what I was saying, the question mark around De Sousa is his performances in the biggest possible tournaments. And in particular, it's the World Championships. If you think about the draw that he was given at last year's Ali Pali, it wasn't very kind at all. He got someone called Damon Heta first game,
21.
and he lost 3-0. And we do know now that there is no shame in that, because we know that Damon Heta is going to be a huge threat for that title
23.
come December. And when he made his reappearance at the World Championships in 2018, he had a forgettable match with Michael Barnard, so maybe he just doesn't like Ali Pali.
Well, he's liking what he's doing now.
$140.
Wright has left himself handy, but De Sousa has 3 darts to clean up this 80.
Loves tops. That's actually a really clever single there, because he's got a bit more clearance to find the top of the shop.
60.
Not quite. And Wright is dodging bullets a little bit here.
Yeah, and he's constantly fiddling with his equipment in the background there. I'm not sure if he's preparing a new set in the background.
Game shot.
Well, he finds double top. They do look like the same darts. I've just had a closer inspection on a previous frame in this match, and they do look identical. He looked like he had changed something, but still the short stems, still the same flights.
140.
Could be a different weight of barrel by maybe a gram or gram and a half. But he'll have to go some to better John Worsley at the home tour. This year, he graduated from one full set to another by changing 1 dart at a time per visit. And they weren't very similar.
Well,
it was very evident.
I've seen Peter Wright change his darts 4 times in the course of a best of 11 match on the floor before, but he seems happy enough with these right now.
Well, you can't not be happy with 181 after 6, Murph. Come on. De Sousa on 225?
180.
Of course he is. Welcome to the leg. Back to back. We're not going to get another 180 here, but we are going to get something juicy.
We look at the bull. And now treble 13.
Look how much that was in the middle.
120.
That was in the bull of the bull. Whatever he's changed, it's working.
It'll be interesting to find out. I'm sure that Dan Dawson
40.
will ask all the right questions should Wright win this title. Or shouldn't we ask all the right questions if Jose wins it? But he's not going to know if Wright's changed his darts or not.
Tops.
Game
Yes, very good. 4-3 Wright. He's at the halfway point first.
Yeah,
Best of 15.
it's the lead that is changing hands in this final. De Sousa 3-2 ahead. Now Wright 4-3 in front. Still
59.
fiddling with his arrows there. Still thinking if there is something he can do. We know that Peter Wright likes to tinker, but it is quite rare that he does it during a match. Peter Wright, as I say, I've seen him do it on occasion on the floor before, but in the final, to start thinking about tinkering.
Can you imagine the thought process of someone who is mentally strong enough to tinker with kit in a Players' Championship final? I remember playing Adrian Lewis in a
4-3 up
final.
as well.
Yeah, I played Adrian Lewis in a final. I played Robert Thornton in a final. Terry Jenkins. And at no point was I thinking, do you know what? I think I might try another set of darts, actually. It's quite commonplace. Never would I ever think of that.
Well, he has already picked up half a dozen titles this year, Peter Wright. The first, of course, on the 1st of January, the biggest of them all at the Ali Pali, followed by the Masters. Then a hat-trick of these Players' Championship events before beating James Wade to become European champion earlier this month.
It's got a nice ring to it, hasn't it? World and European champion.
81.
The choreography sometimes from Snakebite is just so entertaining. And it's more of a sign of how relaxed he is in this environment. You look at a lot of the players in the field today who would crave to be in this final. They might be tense. They'd be trying to stay still or stay focused. Not Peter. He's really at ease with this situation. And that's because of all the wins he has picked up.
58.
No pressure really here on De Sousa, though. Wright failing to find a visit in 3 figures.
All right.
120.
Only him.
Comments?
Only him. Remarkable. Going that way. He could end up in trouble going that way as well yet.
I've had 10 seconds and I've still got nothing.
He doesn't want to see this first start miss above the double two.
Game shot.
He just plants it in. Jose will go his way.
If there's a book that comes out with Jose De Sousa's way of doing steel tip finishing, I'm going to buy it just for entertainment value. I mean, he's in a final against Peter Wright, one of the best players of the last generation, and he's going 60-60 double two for 1-2-4. I think it's brilliant, but it's risky.
But I do think, and I'm going to probably ask you the question, do you think that he goes that way just because it's the easiest for him to work out?
Possibly.
We had a situation earlier on the stream where he was going for 2 double 18s on 72, and I made the point, perhaps it's not the grouping, as brilliant as that is, that makes him go that way. It's the fact that it's easier for him to add 2 doubles together than it is to work out which treble leads to which double.
Yeah, maybe. Just what he's used to from playing so much soft tip over the years.
But, I mean, is the one small criticism that we can have of his game, but is it something he really does need to work on and sort out?
I think from a tactical perspective, yes, is the answer. If he keeps executing these things, then we can't really fault him, because the name of the game in steel tip is to get the 501 points with a double at the end. It doesn't matter which double it is.
55.
But if he makes a tactical error that costs him 1 or 2 darts extra, then we have license to criticise.
Well, let's bring in the asset analysis here, because he's got 305. What should he do?
25, 15 or 18 first. Not that. Now he can't leave a finish. So that is something he needs to learn.
97.
15, 60, 60, 170. 18, 60, 60, 167.
2 19s. The easy equation for Peter Wright, who hits the front again.
Maybe in that situation he didn't go for the 15s or the 18s or the 25 because he was so far behind and didn't think that Peter Wright was going to miss that double 19 anyway. And it proved
140.
to be correct.
Closely fought battle. Once again, the final of the Winter Series. There hasn't been more than a leg between the pair thus far. We have been treated in tournament deciders this week.
100.
Walking in a Winter Series wonderland.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff we've seen. Jermaine Watermaner losing out to Michael Smith.
140.
Yesterday's final between Price and Hector. De Sousa himself in that thriller against the Bully Boy. All closely contested.
Ton needed from Wright to get on level terms. Once more. Should get more now. Will get more.
180.
Gets the full book.
And this could be the chance to open up some daylight. Unless, not to be, Peter Wright
97.
has the opportunity to pull clear in this final.
They've played better than this today. But it's not about what they've done. It's about what they're about to do. It's double 12. Hit it the last time he went for it.
57.
Not this time. De Sousa to level things up after 10.
And the double.
32.
It is not there. And Peter Wright has 3 clear darts here to break and pull clear.
Game shot.
Yes, he does. Right in the middle of the bat, that one. That is a thing of beauty. Look at that. Nowhere near the wire. That's the kind of shot you want to see. And if only he'd hit that, just like that in the Champions League last year, he would have possession of the belt.
Well, 2 legs in front.
180.
2 legs away. And already 180 points ahead. All right, 120.
66.
Where would you rank Peter Wright in the all-time list right now? Is he in the top 10?
If he hits this 9-darter, I'll put him in the top 3, Paul. Come on, Peter.
Go on, there's your incentive.
100.
11th.
Rick O'Shea into the green bit.
59.
It looks like he is closing in a man who knows how to win. As I said, 6 titles in 2020. That's come from 7 finals, Peter Wright.
Yeah, that's not a bad hit ratio.
100.
But he's hitting more now, and De Sousa is missing. This happened a bit in the semi-final with Lewis. He had this blip
120.
at around this area of the game, and he was allowed a few extra visits. Snakebite is not in a charitable mood. 60 for double 4. Just lays up.
46.
And is given time. Look at what De Sousa has left. Can't afford this blip because Snakebite will not look back.
140.
Well, he taps on the door.
Game shot.
But Peter Wright hasn't heard the knock and now is 1 away from the win.
You wonder if there's a chalkboard in his man cave back in Suffolk. And when he gets home, eventually after this long trip, he might just get the chalk and do one more. But what he wants is today, tomorrow, Slam, Players Championship finals. He wants to be chalking up 4 more.
He wants to chalk up another maximum.
140.
Just over the top wire. De Sousa will not stop fighting. Kicked off with a 180 himself.
Just imagine what De Sousa would feel like if he does lose this. He's lost 2 finals this week. He'll go to bed tonight not happy. There are players who may be happy with possibly 2 finals in 5 events, but not this guy from Portugal. He wants titles.
38.
And possibly, but he will have one more day to put it right. And then, of course, the draw for the Grand Slam of Darts, which I believe you'll be involved in, Paul.
Yes,
184.
you have license to blame me when you get a bad
The
draw.
group of death will be blamed on Paul Nicholson. But to be honest, looking at the field this year, and I know this is often said about many tournaments, I think it is the strongest Grand Slam field ever.
100.
I'm just really intrigued to see who gets Wayne Warren and Mikuru Suzuki.
Another. Yes, double 12. He knows where that is.
32.
Why is this thing in my stomach going on when he hits 2 treble 20s there thinking, is he going to go for the right double?
Well, there was some people that suggested when he hit the 9-darter at the European Championship that they thought he might go for double 16 at the end of it.
180.
Peter just piles the pressure on. This might be his last chance to stay alive.
To keep it going. This is big. He's still in this final. That's a great find from Jose De Sousa. The first of 3 legs that he requires. Wright was poised on 43 for the title and is closed out.
We haven't seen
68.
a big comeback win so far. The Winter Series, this would be special from the special one. Peter Wright has taken his average back into 3 figures. That's where he's been for the entire day. In fact, both of the players have been averaging over 100 for the whole day here at the Winter Series.
Well, the World Championships is usually staged in North London, okay, and I'm sure it will be this year. Jose Mourinho is managing a football club in North London now, so we've got to do something with the 2 Joses, surely.
2 special ones.
Special 2.
I should have said that.
140.
But it has been pretty special from Peter Wright, not just in this event, but for this entire year. And maybe he really is a number one in waiting.
140.
Yeah, there haven't been many world number ones in PDC history. And we haven't had a new one since MVG beat Wright in their first world final. De Sousa is finding his range again. This final might just be beginning once more.
Peter Wright had a 3-leg cushion. He might be about to see that almost eliminated, because
99.
if De Sousa can go out here, he'll be throwing to force a decider.
Got to go 18 bull.
Surely, surely. Well, is he checking his own score or Peter Wright's score here?
Or is he going to go double 18, double 16? He's done the right thing. Mega aggressive to leave double 7.
Game.
Oh, that's a special shot.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. The pair of them doing what they've been doing all day, both averaging 100. And that is a brilliant break from Jose De Sousa, and he will now throw to force a deciding leg here.
Well, how does De Sousa beat Wright from here? It's very simple. Don't let him get a match start. That's how you beat people. Don't let them have a turn which could give them a match-winning shot. And in the last couple of legs, that is what De Sousa has done.
135.
Just got to do it 2 more times against one of the best players in the last generation.
Just ask you a quick question, Paul, before we move into the final
57.
chapter of this match. When you get a player like De Sousa who emerges, as Peter Wright did, as from journeyman to the player he is, the beast he is now, are all the other players on the tour talking about them, worried about them, by talking about them?
Not worried, but always talked about.
Always aware.
What did Jose do today? What did Peter do today? Oh, did you see that average from Wright? Did you see that performance from Jose De Sousa?
Did you see that maximum in what he hopes is the penultimate leg of this match?
The difference right now as well, Murph, is the fact that when
97.
you get a cluster of players together and they say, who won today? Oh, De Sousa. All right, okay. When he won his first title, it was, who? He won that? Different now. He's elite.
Well, the very same thing did happen with Peter Wright, didn't it? Started winning on the floor, and then he progressed and progressed
100.
and progressed to the unmistakable snakebite character that he's become. All the show, but all the talent to back it up.
What's happening here? He's only got 8. Needs a treble to get to a finish. Gets it right in the corner, but it's still advantage Portugal. Get the maths right. 12. Bull. Oh, a wire shaker, but Wright gets the chance at 158 to win.
I wonder, in that scenario, whether there was a case for not going for the bullseye there. Peter Wright isn't going to take out the 158.
I'm going to answer your question. Absolutely not. You go for that bullseye. You do not give a 158 to snakebite.
Well, it's 2 darts at double. And he's chosen double 12. And we are going all the way in the final on day 4. De Sousa back from the brink to set up a sudden death shootout.
What an incredible bunch of finals we've had this week. Incredible. And what did I say at the start about winning that bullseye? It was crucial.
40.
And that start is crucial. We had, in my opinion, last week, the best bunch of quarterfinals in the World Cup that we've ever seen, standard-wise. As far as the series are concerned, whether it's summer, autumn or winter, these finals this week have not disappointed.
180.
Well, that could be a crucial visit from Peter Wright. Just trying to stem the tide, having led this match 7-4. De Sousa has won the last 3, but visits of 140 and 180
60.
have put this match right in the palm of Peter Wright's hand.
All that hard work that Jose has done, and Wright comes out in the last leg like he's been missing in a cave for about 3 legs, and then
81.
he's within 100 points of victory now, rejuvenated after the comeback from the Portuguese player.
$100.
Exactly what we were saying before. He knows how to win snake bites. He knows exactly when to pounce.
Game shot.
And Peter Wright does win at the Winter Series after a dramatic final. Day 4 is Peter Wright's day. Jose De Sousa once again beaten in a thrilling final. He'll be back tomorrow to try and pick up a crown, but his 2 wins for Smith, 1 for Gerwyn Price, and now Peter Wright adds his name to the Roll of Honour at the Winter Series. It's all smiles at the end between the Special One and Snakebite, and maybe we'll get a word off both of them, but we'll at least get a word with Peter Wright, the champion on day 4. He's going to talk to our man, Dan Dawson.
You've done this, I don't know the drill. You know the drill. If you just pick up that one. It's nice to breathe. I've been holding my breath for that, so quiet in there. Yeah, it's quiet. If you come and stand just here, just on that tape there. There we go. And we're talking into that one. Peter Wright, the world champion and the winner today of Players' Championship 22. Peter, nobody got close to you all day until the final with Jose, and that couldn't have got much closer, could it?
I know. It started off really well. Both of us was in big scores. Excuse me. Yeah, and it just went away for some reason. I don't know. But it's always going to be close with Jose because he's one of the best players in the world at the moment.
Well, you've got quite a little rivalry going on. He beat you a couple of days ago here.
Yeah.
You beat him at the match play. He'd beaten you on the way to a title last year. I mean, it's 3-3 in the head-to-heads now.
Is
But
it?
he's
Oh,
he's genuinely a threat in any big tournament, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. You know. Come down with a cold, huh? No, he's. You know, he's not been on the circuit long, to be honest. But look what he's done in soft tip. You know, he's amazing, and you know, I think he's just a lovely guy as well. He's so relaxed and laid back, and you know, we have a little bit of banter and a bit of fun, you know, in the back room and stuff like that. And everything's easy. Everything's just easy to him.
He's a phenomenal
man
talent.
180s he hit there again, but he'd play a lot better than that.
Well, for the second time we've seen Jose De Sousa losing a final but deciding leg. He had a semi-final as well. He's one of the top performers on the Winter Series, but Summer Series, Autumn Series, Winter Series, Peter Wright turns up. Peter Wright wins titles. That's what's happening.
I didn't want to get out of bed today. I said to Paul, I really can't do it today. So
Glad you did now, right?
yeah, but you know, it was like I played Kai Fan
Yeah, Kai Fan Long, yeah.
and I went out first round. I hit 4 11 darters, and to break him, I missed 11 darter and 12 darter. He went out. The fallen legs, I had a 14 darter, should have been 11, and the last leg, I should have had a 12 darter to win the game, when it's 5 apiece. And had 10 darts at double, missed.
I mean, they still both average over 106 in that game the other day. How important is it to you? I asked the same question to Gerwyn Price yesterday. Ahead of the Grand Slammer darts coming up here in Coventry, how important is it to pick up a title? I mean, I know you came here having just won the European Championship, but it's always good to get that winning feeling immediately before a big tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a bit weird in the back room for everybody. You know, as you say, you look at the first couple of days, the averages were just crazy. Gabriel Clemens 212s, Michael Smith 206, and then that
112 from Jermaine Wattermina as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's just that's what you got to do on the floor. Just try and win a game. You know, as I say, I played that Kai Fan Lee, and it just wouldn't go away. I was like, but that's what you got to expect because everyone's playing super darts.
Quick one, you changed your darts in the middle of the final there?
A couple of times. I've done it in
couple of times?
Semi-finals there. I've done it against whoever played. I can't remember.
Well, I mean, what was the thinking? Was it Joe Cullen in the semis you did it?
Yeah.
What was the thinking?
It was just like a bit of a longer point because they wouldn't drop. They're just going to the board and they wouldn't.
There's always some
Tweaks.
reason, but it's worked. It's worked. I mean, do you think that was the difference then? Just
Yeah. I had to change something. You know, start off really well with them, and then they wouldn't come down. And I could have stepped back or whatever, but.
Well, look, Peter Wright, European champion, Masters champion, world champion, and the winner here today, Players Championship 22. Another incredible set of displays from Jose De Sousa. So some great stuff from Joe Cullen. Adrian Lewis had a fabulous day as well. Loads of big averages from Jackpot. But we've seen Michael Smith win 2. We've seen Gerwyn Price win 1. Now we've seen Peter Wright win 1. And we're back for one final day tomorrow. Players Championship 23. It's the culmination of the Winter Series, the culmination of the Players Championship Series for 2020. There are spots at the Worlds up for grabs, the Players Championship Finals, and who knows, somebody could earn themselves a spot at the Grand Slam of Darts as well. Join us from 2 o'clock tomorrow for